G'day guys, Will Kitching here. Welcome to another video. Now, as you just saw, we're out on an absolutely beautiful morning, great sunrise, no wind, just absolutely beautiful. So the plan for today's session is to go down to one of the reefs that holds mackerel during summer and to try and get a few. We got there and they definitely were not on. But as you're about to see, we ended up getting onto some good fish and had a pretty good session in the end. But it all came down to this one tiny little trick that a lot of people wouldn't even think about. So stay tuned right until the end of the video, as I'm going to do a diagram and show you the little trick, because you don't see it through the footage. But yeah, if you stick around to the end, you'll see that. That's very important. I think, honestly, it was the difference between catching fish and not getting a bite. So instead of having a red hot session like we did, we very easily could have gone home with nothing. So check out this footage. Things got crazy. We had double hookups. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned right until the end to see that secret trick.
See that?
Yeah.
That was down with it. Yep. I'm on. Yeah. Get that one.
Yep. I'm over the top. I'm over the top of you. Come under. Under.
Yep, I got mine. You on?
Yeah. Mine's on wire, so I can take my time a bit more. Jesus, that might be Spanish.
That's our lines.
Yeah. Just wait, come underneath me again. Alright.
All good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Jeez, I put the gaff away. Tell me when you're getting close and I'll try and grab it for you. Huh?
I can see you down deep.
Spot?
I'm not sure, I can just see silver flashes down there. Hasn't really had any big runs, this one.
Mine went.
Get out. Oh.
Okay, this line here is around yours, I think.
Yeah.
Free spool it.
Yeah. Okay, hand me the gas. Or if you...
Buddy. Alright. Here's the gaff.
Wait.
Okay. Good one. Stuff the tangle, just gaff it.
There's the weight. You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. Where's yours going? Where'd you put the gaff? Just chuck it here. Chuck it here for a sec. Hang on. Let me just get mine here. Oh, Jesus.
Do you mean head first up that way? Go get mine.
Yeah. Where's yours?
Yeah. It's around that line.
Yeah.
I think it's a couple of times.
Oh, he's down there, you're right. No.
Okay, here we go. in.
Yeah, yeah. Just hold him.
Rubbing on that line. There's
Yeah.
another fish down lower, look.
Yeah. No, couldn't reach. Right, this time. That one's in free spool.
Got him?
Yep. Watch it. They're going both up there.
Now.
Well, holy moly, ladies and gentlemen. Double hookup. That was pretty hectic. Couple of nice bodies there. Decent size. I mean, I videoed a few things this morning, but it has been very slow. Oh, we're on. Hang on.
Yeah, we're on.
It's got wire, so. Yeah, it is. Oh, God. How's that happen? Did it bite you off or just get off?
Just give me a filly. Unlucky, then bloody hook.
And then missed it?
Oh, there he is, just here, look.
Oh, drop it in, drop it in. Oh, there's a few. There's five of them. Yeah, you just ate that. Yeah, you're on here, you're on. Big one there, big one here.
Oh, he's on.
On?
Yeah.
Hang on to it. I think the GoPro's still going. Yeah.
He's off again.
Yeah. Woo! I was just about to talk to the camera. Wait, this is a really good fish. This is a really good fish. I'll leave the ratchet on so you guys can hear the runs and the action. Oh my god. This is a really good fish. I was just about to turn the camera on and talk to you guys about the techniques we're using. And we were literally just talking about how unpredictable these fish have been today. You never know when one's going to take it. This one took a fair bit of line. Where you got to try and take your time, not rush it, but at the same time they are very toothy, so it gets a bit nerve-wracking. But you do have to just take your time and ease them in. Here we go. Well, I'll bring him round, lift him up.
Shit, that even fell off.
Going out. If you look at that, that's why we get so worried. Look how close that line is to those sharp teeth there. Whew. Millimeters. Well, there we go, everyone. That's another beautiful fish. Absolute stonker. As I was saying, it's been a very quiet day, but we're picking off the odd one. See, look how close that is. The line to those teeth. Look at those teeth there. That
3 centimeters.
Yeah, not much, and that could easily end up in his mouth somehow. So we're taking a couple of these home for a feed today. So we're going to treat this properly. We're going to put it out of its misery and bleed it, and then get it straight on ice. So that's really important with the mackerel. You've got to bleed it and get it straight on ice to keep that firm meat really nice.
Yep.
How's that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Alright guys, so there you have it. That's the session we had. But now it's time to show you guys the secret little trick on how we caught them, because as I said, we easily could have gone home with absolutely nothing. As some of you guys that fish for mackerel may know, some days you might get to a reef and they're just going off. You hear drag screaming everywhere, everyone's catching them. But then some days you'll get there and it's just dead, no one's catching anything. This can either mean one, that they're not there, but two, what you find a lot of the time is they're there, but they're not up on the surface feeding, they're down a bit deeper. Sometimes when they're not feeding, you can still see them on the sounder. You'll have your screen here of your sounder, your buttons over here, whatever. This is your sounder screen. The bottom will show up with the reef. You might see some really big arches, sort of like this, or just some squiggly lines all stacked up like this. That's a lot of the time how mackerel show up on the sounder. They show up in those squiggly lines stacked on top of each other. So this can mean that there's mackerel, but they're just sitting down deep. So when they're not feeding and they're in a mood like this, you have to try and get them up to feed on your bait, or get them sort of worked up a little bit. So I'll show you how you do that now. So now you may have seen some mackerel on your sounder, or it might be a tough bite that you're not getting many. This is what you do. So obviously with mackerel, burley is a big thing. That's what we're going to talk about today. You have to have the right technique to get those fish up to your baits. So that's what I'm going to share now. Say you're at the reef. That's the water. That's the surface. Your boat's here. Alright, and you're fishing back down this way. So the fish are sitting deeper. So there's your mackerel. That could be a school of mackerel down there. So what a lot of people do is they'll anchor and they'll drop bits of burley in and make a trail of burley and just continuously pump burley out. Throw out cubes of pilchard and they'll end up sinking down, floating a bit with the current and sinking down right to where the fish are. He'll keep throwing it in and there's just a constant stream of burley coming down to these fish. In this case, yes, you do need to burley when they're down deeper or when they're not feeding, but if you just keep a constant stream of burley, the fish will happily sit back down here deeper or a long way out the back of your boat and just pick off every little bit of burley and sit there and happily just get a full stomach. They don't have to work, the food's just coming to them and they'll just pick all that off and they don't even have to move. Now this may work sometimes, but on a tough day, I'm about to show you the secret trick to the burley and getting those fish to feed and getting the bites. Now what we've found is, yes, you need to burley. There's the surface again. Here's us in the boat. And the fish are deeper. So sitting right down here. That's your school of mackerel. Now you want to throw some burley in. Alright, so imagine we've thrown some burley in and you want to pump a fair bit and let it sink down and it'll sink all the way down here. Right, so you pump some out and it gets the fish in the area. They'll see the burley and come in and eat it. But after you've pumped a lot of burley out, the fish will get that. They'll have a bit of a feed. They'll get excited. They'll get a scent of it. But after you throw a bit out and pump a fair bit, cut it off altogether. What this will do is, the school of mackerel will get a taste, they'll get fired up and want more. So rather than just sitting down here and picking off burley and they don't have to move, once that flow of burley stops, once you cut it off and burley stops floating down, what will happen is they're going to swim up looking for more. They'll come up looking for more, and that's where they might find your bait. There's a hook. They might find your bait there, or they might find, if you start pumping a bit more burley, they'll end up at the back of your boat even. But what we find is when we cut off that burley, that's when a few minutes later we usually get a hit. They come up looking for more, and there's your bait, there's your lures, whatever you're using. So pump some burley, cut it off, wait a few minutes, could be even, up towards 10 minutes, and then start to burley, repeat it. And that's when the school of fish comes up, as I said, looking for your bait and big hookups. As you would have seen in that video, we were burleying, and by the end, after we'd cut it off, we literally had a school of mackerel swimming around our boat, and all we had to do was present our baits to them and we were on. Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully that secret little trick helped you, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of footage of us catching some good fish there. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down there. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys and interacting and hearing what you have to say about the video. And don't forget to share it with your mates if you think it could help them. Alright guys, thanks for everyone that watches. I hope you guys can get out there and do this yourself and get onto some fish. So tight lines, and I'll see you in the next one.